Hello everyone, this is Esther from Techwise, and I'm going to be taking you through the selling and buying modules in Business Plus. So we're going to first look at the sales cycle, and this sales cycle falls under the selling module, and then we shall proceed to the buying cycle, which falls under the purchase, the buying module. So the sales cycle, what it does or what it entails, it represents the series of steps involved in selling a product or service to a customer. And then it has several components. It has the lead, the quotation, the sales order, and then the sales invoice. So we are starting with the lead. The lead is unqualified potential customer. So as a company, you can have those unqualified potential customers and you can put them into the system, right? So there, I'm having one. The first name, maybe we can go with Mark. Then the last name, we can go with Kato, right? Kato. And then you can have as well the job title, also the gender, and then the source from where this lead was. And then also the salutation. There you can see the lead owner, the status, lead type, request type. So the lead owner, you're seeing administrator because I'm the one who is creating this lead, right? So you can have other details there down. So if you have them, you do enter them into the system. So that is the email. I'll maybe put just the email. So you can put these other details if you have them. Like the phone number, maybe the WhatsApp number, the organization, and the number of maybe staff in that organization. Yes. You can see all those details. Also the address, the contact, maybe even more other info. So I'll go on my lead. So my lead is saved. So from the lead, we shall go to the opportunity, right? So there you can see some other things that are connected to the lead, right? You see an opportunity, quotation. So we're going to go on with the opportunity. So from the lead, we go to the opportunity. The opportunity is a lead that has shown interest and now qualifies to be a potential customer, right? So I'm assuming Makato is now the lead that has shown interest and now qualifies to be a potential customer. So Makato is now the new opportunity, right? So that is the new opportunity we are trying to create. So Makato has shown interest in maybe our products or services. So Makato is now becoming an opportunity. So you do fill in those other details. So all those other details, if you have them, you do fill them in. So you go on to save. You save the opportunity. So now we have the opportunity. Remember, we start from the lead. So you have lead management, quotation, sales order, sales invoice, payment entry. Lead management has the lead, has the opportunity. So we have looked at that, right? That is lead management. So it's like a way of tracking customer leads, right? Where we have the lead and then the opportunity. Then from there, we're going to go on with the quotation. So a quotation is like a sales offer sent to a customer. So we want to send this to our customer. Remember, now Makato qualifies to be our potential customer, right? So now we are creating a quotation. A quotation is like a sales offer sent to a customer. So those are the different fields or things to fill in. So we are going to come here and we send this quotation to our customer. So we have to put in the details, right? So we are going to start with the items. So the items, I'm assuming we have a dining table, right? So the item code, it's always good. The item code to have the same name as the item name. So that one to be very easy to really identify than maybe just a random number on the item code. So you really preserve that whereby item code and then the item name have the same names, right? Yeah. So even we have the opening stock, maybe the stock you have at hand, and then we have the valuation rate. This one reflects the cost of acquiring or producing the item. Then we have the standard selling rate, right? This one reflects the price at which the item is offered to customers. So also there we can see the description. You can try to give a description of this item so that anyone who will be maybe passing through this item, trying to review this item, will understand what this item is all about, right? So you can fill in all those other details if you have them. Yes. So I'll go on to save. So now our item is there, dining table. Remember here we are creating a quotation. So I want to send this quotation to maybe our lead, right? Yeah. So there you can see the rate. So you can change the rate and also the quantity. So when you change the rate and then the quantity, the amount will auto-populate itself. You get, so the rate, let me say each dining table costs how much? 900. So if at all there are those dining tables, how much will the money be? Yeah. So we are coming up with another item, chairs. Again, you proceed. Opening stock, valuation rate, standard selling rate. So you can as well fill in those if you have them, or if you want. Yes. Yeah, so also the description down, then the unit of measure. You try to describe briefly about this item, chairs, so that anyone reviewing this item will know that, okay, this item is about this and this. So it's really a good practice to do that. Yes. So I guess our the details are done, so you can save, right? So there we have the two items, dining table and then chairs. So as well here you can change the rate at which each chair costs and then the quantity, so that the amount auto-populates itself, so that you can see other details, the taxes, if at all they're there, you also fill them in. So I'm going to go on and we save our quotation, right? So now our quotation is saved. Remember I said you start from the lead, opportunity, quotation, sales order. So after there, we're going to go on with the sales order. So the sales order, this is a confirmed order from the quotations you get. So if at all you confirm an order from that quotation you have created, you have sent it to a customer. So here you're going to come and you come up with a sales order. So the delivery date, so confirmed order from quotations or confirmed sales, you get. So there we have to specify the warehouse, you get. So that you got to specify the warehouse. So we shall specify the warehouse, maybe stores, TD. So TD I'm using TechWise. That is why you're seeing TD. Yes. We can now save our sales order. So remember when you click save, it first goes to draft, so you have to submit so that it saves. So there you're seeing to bill and to deliver and bill. We have to come up with a sales invoice, you get. So a sales invoice here, you bill the customer for the delivered goods and services, you get. So that is why you saw to deliver and bill. So you have to bill the customer for delivered goods and services. Yes, so that is our new sales invoice. So you pass through to see all the details you can change, anything you can add, or there are some other details you need to add. So after that I'll save. So you save, and you submit. So our sales invoice is now submitted, but you're seeing unpaid. So I'm assuming that Mark Kato has now paid, right? So we have to log a payment. So that is why now you're seeing payment. Remember, I told you start with a lead, opportunity, quotation, sales order, sales invoice, and then payment. So there we are going to log a payment. I'm assuming Makato has paid now the money. You get for the other items, the dining table, and then the chairs. So there, the mode of payment, I'll opt for cash. Yes, so that is cash. Yeah. And then we save. So that is logging a payment after a customer has paid. So you have to enter that into the system. Yeah. So that is done. So if you try to go back to the sales invoice we created, you will see that the status has changed to paid. But previously it was unpaid. Why? Because maybe perhaps this customer didn't pay, but then after paying, we log that payment to the system, and yes, make our payments. Yeah. Yes. We are going to also look at point of sale. Yeah, under the selling module. In Business Plus, right? So the point of sale is like a section in the system where a retail transaction occurs between the business and then the customer. Yeah. So here we're going to start with POS profile, point of sale profile. So this is a configuration for point of sale operations in a company. Yeah. So there you're seeing the details. We are having the name. Yeah. So there you can give it any name. So that is the name I'm trying to come up with. Yeah, maybe POS profile official, or you can call it retail furniture POS. Then you can give the company is there, Techwise. Then also the customer is a walk-in, you get. So the warehouse. Also you can have the country, then the campaign. Yeah. So there you can have applicable user. So applicable user specifies which users can use this POS profile, right? So payment methods, there are configured accepted payment modules. So there I've selected cash, and the cash is the default one. Yeah, you can always add maybe bank, maybe check. Yeah. So so there we're having the filters, and then we have the item groups. This restricts POS items to specific categories. Also customer groups limits the POS to customers in specific groups. So you can see the configuration section, and then you can see write-off account, and then write-off cost center. So these ones are mandatory because you're seeing those stars. So it means you have to fill them in. Yeah. So a write-off account is used to record the amount of money that is not recoverable from a customer. You get. And then write-off cost center, this one tracks the expenses related to write-offs, right? Yeah, so there we're trying to set, but then this one, it's already a default because I'd already set it. So you shouldn't set it again, right? So that is it. Yeah, so there you can see connections. Those are the things that are connected to this POS profile. So you're seeing opening entry, POS invoice, POS closing entry, right? So you're going to start with POS opening entry. So POS opening entry makes the start of a POS session and records the opening cash or other balances. For example, starting a day with 500 as the opening cash balance you get. So after there you save. Yeah, so that is our opening amount of money, maybe for that day you get for today. Yeah, so from there, we shall go back to our POS profile. We see, if at all maybe, the opening entry we created reflects, so there you can see a 1, meaning that now the POS opening entries we have in the system, it's only 1. Yeah, so from there, we shall come up with the POS invoice. So this POS invoice represents the a sales transaction conducted through the POS system. Yeah. So now we are going to fill in the details. Yeah, so the accounting details, that one pertains the project or cost center. Then the customer purchase order details if you have them, addresses and contact, currency and price lists. Then the warehouse, remember we set this warehouse in the post profile. Yeah. Then we have the items. So there we have to add the items. Remember, I told you it represents a sales transaction conducted through the POS system. So maybe this item is a wooden table. So we manufactured this wooden table. So I'll show you as well the manufacturing module as we go on. Yes, so that is the quantity and then the amount of money. So also these other details, you can fill them in if you have them. Here, the write-off, terms and conditions, printing settings. Yeah, so write-off, remember we had specified the administrative and the main, so you're seeing them. Then the terms and conditions, printing settings, term is the print format and letterhead. Then more information, then there you can see accounting details, configures income, expense and tax accounts for the transaction. Then you can see commission, then sales team, links the invoice to specific sales team if you have, right? So you can see subscription section, configure subscription based sales. Yeah, so plus other details if you have them. So there we shall save. Yeah. So now our POS invoices there. So from there we shall go to now. Remember you started with a POS profile, then POS opening entry. So if we go back to our POS profile, you'll see now the POS invoice there as one. The other one we created. You get? So now we want to close that day. Remember, we recorded the amount of money we had at hand when we just started that day, which is in the POS opening entry. Then we carried out for all the things maybe we sold. So now we have to close that day. So that is why we are now here under POS closing entry. You get? So there you have to specify the POS transactions. You get? So the other POS transaction under POS invoice for the POS invoice. So you come here and specify it. You choose it there. Then it will auto fill itself. Remember we made 50k this day. And put the closing amount. Remember the amount of money you had plus this one you have made. We had 500 and we have made 50. Yeah, so you balance the money you started with, maybe 500, then we have made maybe 500, so that will be 1M, right? So the balance will be 500, meaning we made 500 today and we had 500 totaling to 1M as the closing balance. You get? So you save and then you submit. So now that is how our POS shall always be carried out in business plus, right? Yeah, so that is it for the selling module. So now we're going to go to the buying module. Selling, you're selling things to customers, items or services to customers. Now we're going to go in with the buying module. Yeah, so the buying module has the purchase cycle. So the purchase cycle refers to a process a business follows to procure goods or services from suppliers. Yeah, so here in the purchase cycle, we have the supplier management, we have the purchase order, and then the purchase invoice. So we're going to first create a supplier. You get? So a supplier is like a vendor providing goods. So supplier is a vendor providing goods. So you start with a supplier name. So this one, let me say Timber Suppliers Limited. So that is the name. So the country, then the supplier group. Is this supplier locally? Maybe all suppliers group, maybe raw materials. So you specify. So I'm going to specify raw materials, then the supplier type, right? So you can see here the defaults, billing currency, then price list, then internal supplier as well, right? So those are the other details you can fill in. So you can see the taxes, the address and contact, accounting, settings, and portal users. So with time, if you have all those details, you do add them there. So after there, we're going to save our supplier. So now our supplier is in the system. Then from there, we're going to go on with the purchase order, right? Purchase order is like placing orders for items. You get, it's more of a placing order for items from a supplier. So there you're going to add a purchase order. So we are going to specify the supplier, our supplier. Remember, our supplier is Timber. Suppliers Limited. Yeah. And then the required date, maybe we require our things today, our items today. And then the accounting dimensions. Remember, accounting dimensions are concerned with the project or cost center, whether this purchase order is attached to a project or a cost center. Since this one apparently is not attached to any, we're not going to put that there. So under items, we're going to specify the items we want to purchase from our supplier. Remember, our supplier is Timber Suppliers Limited. Yeah. So maybe I want wooden panels, right? So there I told you it's always good for the item code to be the same as the item name, so that one is very easy to identify. And also the item group is really important, so there you have to specify the item group. So I'll go in sub-assembled default unit of measure. We have numbers, kgs. I'm going to go on with numbers. Then opening stock, valuation rate, selling, standard selling rate. Yeah, we discussed that earlier. And then you can also give it a description, then the unit of measure. So the other details, if you have them, you can always add them there. Yeah. So from there, I guess our item is now done. You save it. So the wooden panels we want to purchase now are there under our purchase order. Yeah. So there you have to specify the rate and the quantity. Yeah. Plus the warehouse you get. Yeah. So I'm going to specify the warehouse. Yeah, so you have to specify the target warehouse. Yeah, so that is the target warehouse we chose. Yeah. So there, you shouldn't forget the rate. Remember the rate. So I'm assuming this wooden panel each maybe costs 40k. And then the unit of measure is numbers, but you can always change the unit of measure. So the quantity can be like, okay, I'm taking 10, right? Yeah. So that we can add other items. Let's add only one. So you're seeing the nails, right? So the nails are there, and then the quantity, and then the rate. So we can say we are taking 20 nails, that is the quantity, and then the unit of measure can be like numbers. They can as well be kgs, so you can change that as well. So we can specify maybe the rate 2000, right? It's okay. So those are the details. So these other details you can add them if you have them. Yeah. So it means those are the items we want to purchase from our supplier. Our supplier is Timber Suppliers Limited. Yeah. So you save. Yeah, so after saving, you have to submit because now it's still in draft. So you submit. So now our purchase order is created. So you're saying to receive and bill. Yeah, so now we have to up with the purchase invoice. Remember, a purchase invoice bills bill received. So this one is a bill received from the supplier after delivering the goods. Yeah, so most of the details are there since we created the purchase order, and then we based on that purchase order to come up with this purchase invoice. So you create it, then you save it in the system. So now we have the purchase invoice. Yeah. But then you're seeing that this purchase invoice, the status is unpaid, the way you saw in where the sales invoice before logging a payment, well, the status was unpaid. So you have to change this status to paid by logging a payment. I'm assuming now we have paid our supplier for the delivered items, wooden panels and then the nails. So you can see the payment type is pay for the purchase invoice. So the mode of payment, it's cash. Yeah, so payment from to all those details, then the account, the reference, all that. So you can see here the type is purchase invoice plus the money. So maybe we have paid our supplier. Yeah, and now we are logging a payment. So when you log a payment, and then it's saved into the system, the status of the purchase invoice will change to paid. So now it's not yet saved, so we can go on to save it, and then we submit it to the system. Yeah. So after submitting into the system, so now we can see that our payment entry is logged into the system. Yeah, so if we go back to the purchase invoice, the status will be paid. So that is it from us with the selling and buying modules. There we have seen the sales cycle, the pause, point of sale, and then the purchase cycle. Please reach out if at all you have any inquiry, any issue. Yeah, and please do practice. Yeah, thank you.